I grew up seeing how tough life can be. Like any other male in Uganda, I always wanted to chase the African dream, get into university, do medicine and surgery, graduate, earn a lot of money, marry a beautiful woman, produce kids, and live a happy life. Till I realized that's not how life works. I really needed something I can invest my money in. So, how did I start with a business where I want to invest my money? Personally, after senior six vacation, I started working side hustles. You get children, you coach them, you get side gigs, you do them, and then you save your money. This money comes with a lot of pain. You're choosing to invest it instead of spending it on luxuries. You're spending a lot of time working, time you'd spend on other things. So you really need an investment that is going to return your money. And this was the hardest part. As a youth, I had to sit down and think, which business can I do with the capital I have saved? I'm going to share with you some of the business ideas I actually almost engaged in. My first idea was a salon. I had a colleague who told me about a salon. I almost started a salon in Machindi. I wanted to start up a salon in Machindi because Machindi had a lot. In courts, they said it had a lot of celebs. There was a high population. So I wanted to start a salon. That one also had its own disadvantages. I'll share maybe in some other videos that will come up. Two, since I'm doing medicine and surgery, I thought about, hey, why don't I do a business that is actually in my field? That is a clinic or a pharmacy. Now, when you talk about a clinic and a pharmacy, these are businesses that required a lot of capital for me to start up compared to what I had actually saved on my bank account. So I had to go and start reading different books. That's one of the things I would recommend. Before I continue, this is Ayavuza Broiler Farm. That's our YouTube channel. Do not forget to hit that subscription button and always follow up our channel. You can also hit up our TikTok account. So I read a lot of books because members, the more you read, the more content you're going to accumulate and the better you can become. That is one morning that I'm on YouTube and I learned on this guy called Farm Up, and he was talking about poultry. That is something that captured my attention. I now just had to do a lot of research in poultry. I realized this is a business I would start with less capital. I started picking passion. I had passion for agriculture. So when I compared with the money I had saved, and then I looked at this business and I looked at the time it needed from me as a student that is doing medicine and surgery at campus, I said this may be a business I can venture in. I just now started making a lot of research. I started visiting people with different farms. I will share some of them. I started visiting people with different farms. Then I decided to choose. So why did I have to choose agri business of all businesses? One, right away from baby class, we've always been taught that agriculture is the backbone of Africa. So this is one of the businesses that have the largest market, I can say. What do I mean? People will always eat. This is not a business that is going to fade with trends. This is not a business that is going to fade with technology. Even with AI coming up, those people will need breakfast, those people will need lunch. The population is growing, so the market will always be there. I always tell my workers, as long as people are still eating, we shall always have market. Two, this is one of the sectors you to realize that the government is not yet taxing a lot. This is a business where the taxations are not a lot. You're going to realize there are so many government programs that have been put in place to support the farmers. Agribusiness is a sector where you don't need a lot of capital to start. Like I shared with you, I wanted to do a pharmacy, and my estimation of a pharmacy was around 60 million Ugandan shillings. I thought about a clinic, but to start a clinic, I needed around 40 million Ugandan shillings. But agribusiness is something you can start small, supply, and keep growing into a big business. The third thing I can tell you about the agri business is it does not need a lot of qualifications. You don't need a qualification to start your own farm. You don't need a qualification to start up your own poultry farm. With the pharmacy, they wanted documents of a certified pharmacist. With the clinic, it required me to have a lot of knowledge about medicine. Yet I'm just a student who is just in third year. But with poultry, this is something you can learn by watching YouTube videos of different creators like me, different farmers talking about the farms. This is something that I could acquire online. So I was like, come on, let's just go to agribusiness. So the youth, I think we don't have to wait for jobs yet. We can actually create the jobs. I guess I'm not doing badly. I'm having my own farm. I'm my own boss, and I'm employing other people. You can take a look at the structures. I'm really not doing bad. The business is working. So how did I start? I think the biggest thing with a business is starting. I already said I will start. I will start. I know there is someone out there and you're saying I will start. The first thing is actually after making my research, I was like, let me just start. Other things I'll find out on the way. I was kind of postponing. So why did I choose to have a broiler farm instead of a layer farm? One, broilers need less capital. With a capital as a student who is not having a corporate job, a student who is just saving my money from side gigs, I wanted something that does not take a lot of capital. So I chose broilers because broilers, I don't need to have a lot of money. A chick is at you buy it at 3,000. If you sell it at the end of 1 month, it has consumed around 1,000. If you sell it at 2 months, you have consumed around it has consumed around 20,000. So I could get my number, the money I have, and buy broilers that are coming within my money compared to the layers that would need me to put in a lot of money for over 6 months before I can get the first egg. So if you look at the broilers, really, it can be something a youth can start up without a corporate job. Two, when you look at the time, the return time for me to sell the broilers, within 1 month, you can sell the broilers and you are already smiling, really. Or you can decide to do 2 months. But with the layers, you have to feed them continuously. You have to invest in money for 6 months. That is something very hard. You putting in money for 6 months before you can get the first return. So when I thought about it, I was like, yeah, I really love poultry, but I think the broilers are the choice for me as a youth farmer. Three, I was looking at the balancing of books. With broilers, it's very easy. I can know how much money have I put within this batch, how much money have I gotten out, because I'm trying to balance the business and the studies, because I also need that document. So I can easily balance up how much money have I put in these broilers, how much money have I done this. But then with the layers, it will need my constant time to balance the daily production of the eggs. If the egg production is low, then the pressures are going to be high, then the depression will shoot in and everything. So the broilers were quite very easy for me. Then I was looking at the market. Broilers are having a strong local market. Eating chicken, you can look at the rate of consumption of chicken by campus students, you can look at the consumption of chicken by Ugandan family holds. So the market of the broilers was very easy compared to eggs. Eggs, I would need someone to buy in bulk, Not everyone is eating eggs every day. So when I looked at the market and I considered all those factors, you can never conclude that you're like, I think I have enough time. I've now made enough research. You just have to start. So I was like, let me start. I'll learn everything along the way. And it is working out really, really very well. So I'll make for you a video about why you can do layers and not broilers. Just don't forget to hit the subscription button on our channel. So what are some of the challenges I've faced ever since I started my farm? Balancing business like poultry and medicine joke. You have to be on the rotation. You're rotating in internal medicine. You're rotating in surgery from almost morning 6. Then in the evening, you have to go for discussions. You have to sit down and balance the books. It has really been a challenge. But in the preceding videos, I'll show you how you can manage to balance these two. Then when you look at the financial side, the price of the feeds is another problem. The price of feeds is constantly changing. Prices are hiking. You have to follow the vaccination schedules. The price of the vaccines also not very easy. You're going to look at disease outbreaks. Poultry, I don't think is for the weak. You need to have a very strong heart. You can wake up one day and you have lost 10 birds. But like any other business, what matters is consistency and discipline. You have to distinguish motivation and discipline. What we need here is discipline. You lose 10 birds and you breathe in, you breathe out, and you move on. So there are a lot of challenges you can face in poultry. I'll make for you a video about that. And but when you look at the bright side, really I've gained a lot because my revenue is quite very big. I don't think I want to mention it in the video, but I'm really earning a lot from the birds. It is helping me at least with my studies. I can take care of everything. I can get everything I want as a youth, and the business is really expanding. Within the next few years, we're going to have more structures on this farm of land. Don't forget to hit the subscription button. So I think as youth, we don't really have to wait for the government to create for us jobs. We can actually create these jobs ourselves. See you in the next video.